Hey dudes, welcome to Splat from the Past, the only 80s themed horror and sci-fi show where things can get totally radical. Now today, I'm going to be doing something a little different. I'm going to be having my friend and stand-up comedy peer, Jenny PezdeSpencer, on the show to do an interview. Jenny PezdeSpencer is the funniest comedian you've never heard of. She's based in Las Vegas, Nevada. She is fucking hilarious and just so politically incorrect and wrong. How she's not famous right by now, I'll never know. But she is a very funny lady, and I will be having her on the show in just a moment. You will enjoy her humor. She is just absolutely hilarious, and she tells it like it is. She's very blunt and honest, and yeah, so I will be interviewing my good friend Jenny PezdeSpencer in just a moment.
Hello?
What's up, Jenny?
Hi, Tommy.
Well, we are on the air.
How you doing?
I am great. We are on the air live, so to speak, and I thank you so much for taking the time.
Exactly 3:59?
Well, I'm a few seconds behind.
No, you're ahead. You're early. It's supposed to be 4 o'clock.
It is 4 o'clock now.
Oh, well, what else? How are you?
I am great. How are you?
I'm wonderful here in Reno, Nevada, where it's freaking cold.
I wasn't too sure if it was Reno or Las Vegas. I always get the two mixed up.
Reno. Oh, no, it's Reno, man. Everyone thinks Vegas, and here, let me tell anyone that's listening a fun fact. Reno and Vegas are almost 10 hours away if you drive normal.
Yeah.
And everyone seems to think they're like, dude, I'm going to be in Vegas, so I'll just pop in and see you. I'm like, you're going to drive 8 hours?
Yeah.
Well, it's not that far. No, it is that far. Yeah, it's across the desert.
Across the desert.
Oh. Sorry, I didn't realize that. It's like, yeah, no one does. They all think it's like we're next door.
Yeah.
But we're not on any level.
Yeah.
So is it just you, or do you have a co-host?
Just me. You know, I do this show from my bedroom. There's nothing spectacular.
Oh, my God. That's awesome. You're just laying in bed. You're like, I think I'm going to do a podcast today.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's cool. So what's up? How's Trick? What's been going on, man?
Nothing, just doing this show and do comedy whenever I'm in the Bay Area, because over here in Redding, there's not much to do for stand-up other than Sacramento, and I don't drive, so I can't get out there. But other than that, yeah, that's about it.
Well, that's good. Well, you got to get out there more. Comedy is like breathing.
Yeah.
Or any other muscle. If you don't exercise a minute, it can sometimes get stagnant. That's what someone told me once. Thanks for your little life lesson. I love people that give you life lessons that you kind of go, things? Wavy question mark?
Yeah.
Appreciate your input.
So, have you been doing any gigs lately?
Yeah, I do some stuff. I actually did a corporate gig. I played a golf course. That's always fun in the land of comedy.
A golf course?
Yeah. No, but a nice one. Like one that if you can afford to belong to this this golf course club, it's Arrow Creek Club. It's not bad. But it's money. I mean, it's money. If you don't have the money, you know, it's one of those things that it probably costs the same amount a year as buying a car.
Yep, that's true.
So, you know, if you can afford that, then, yeah. And so I get to go and play these things occasionally. As you know, they're called corporate gigs.
Yep.
And they're fun, but you always got to kind of watch how you talk because you can't lock the rich in the room full of rich.
I know, that's fucking stupid.
In fact, my dentist was there.
Your dentist?
My dentist. My very hot dentist, by the way, my hot dentist was there, and I was like, oh, there's my dentist. And I saw him on phone, and I went to follow him, and then I realized he was going into the bathroom. And then I sit outside. I'm not even kidding. And then I sit outside for a minute and thought to myself, this is kind of gross. Like, I'm just standing outside my dentist's office, just like a, hey.
Oh, my God.
Hey. I know, right? It shouldn't be done. Just a bad situation.
Yeah.
That's why when women come out, that's why when you're waiting for us to stand by the bathroom first, it's kind of gross. And we just, when I see a man standing outside the bathroom doors, I assume he's waiting for someone, but on the other hand, my brain goes to that disgusting part that all women's brains go to and think, is he trying to get in there to, like, see someone pee because he's got that kind of weird, like, water play fetish? Ugh.
Golden showers?
Yeah. Waterworks, anybody? Ugh.
So.
Hey, it's fetish, like that big baby fetish.
Yeah.
I don't know if any of your listeners are into that, but that's just it's a little much for me. The breastfeeding I could probably be okay with, but the changing a shitty diaper of an adult grown man that weighs, 150 pounds more than me, not so much.
Yeah, that is pretty gross.
Not so much.
So, what year did you start doing stand-up?
You never ask a lady her age.
I don't care what.
I don't even, to be honest with you, I've been doing it for so long now, but because of breaks and family things that have happened, sometimes, when I first started, my mentor actually shot himself.
Oh.
A year later.
Yeah.
Depressed. Suicide. It's always, but, that kind of stuff, how life happens sometimes, and you get sidetracked.
Yeah.
And then about 7 years ago, I started doing it again. But like I said, I've been doing it off and on for about 10, 12 years.
Yeah, that's about the time I've been doing it.
Maybe longer. Yeah. What I hate, though, is when people, and I'm sure you've heard this, the snarky people, that, because remember that this is, Butch Escobar said, like, I don't know if you know Butch. He's a really talented Bay Area comedian, and Butch Escobar once said to me when I was feeling kind of low about my comedy and some lesser comics have been talking shit, he said, point blank to my face, he said, hey, Jenny, haters don't hate mediocrity. And I've always kind of taken that stance now because I've had comedians say, well, she's been doing it so long, she must not be getting any better because she's still here in Reno.
He must. Oh, I must be talented because he hates my ass, I'll tell you.
Yeah, right? It's just, well, but I think that people just shut your dirty mouth. Do your job. Don't worry about what I'm doing.
Yeah.
People that talk bad behind your back are behind your back for a reason.
Well,
really, that's truly it. So I just now let it sort of roll off. But before I would get really upset. Like, every year I was in the top 3 of the best comedian in Reno, Nevada.
Right.
According to the Reno News and Review. I'm probably going to lose that status this year because I had a lot of health problems last year. Couple surgeries. I'm having one on Wednesday, in fact.
Wow.
And, it's like once you're out of the public eye for even, 2 months, you don't go to an open mic, which really, for comics, is just practice. Nothing against open mics, but they're practice.
Right.
Because, as you know, half the time it's not a room with customers or, your patrons. It's you and a bunch of other comics. And a bunch of other comics are going to sit there and be like, yeah, you're doing great. Or they all make that, I call it the Twitter face. They sort of go, and watch you. Critique, watch you. The only ones that ever get, like, real woo are the first timers with their army of friends. But what you doing in a minute, you're lucky if you have 2 people come out for you because everyone's seen, even if you have new stuff every week, which I don't recommend to people. I hear it a lot. Oh, I want to keep it fresh. I want to keep it new. I think the problem is comedians don't realize you have to work on stuff that works.
Yeah.
If you're going to laugh on something, you really should be doing it like the next week. Maybe tweak a little.
Yep.
But especially with a punch. But you don't want to, like, I don't want to repeat, because they think that's a real big deal. Oh, I can't repeat stuff. Well, Louis C.K., God rest his soul, he's kind of dead to me after the whole, let me show you my dick thing. But he once said he actually does the same set for a whole tour and then retires it.
Yeah. Which
is common sense, because you're going to be in different cities. You know, if they did see it, then they saw it from a, HBO special. Who cares?
Yeah.
It's still live and it's different. It's still exciting. I just saw Eddie Izzard.
Oh, Eddie Izzard.
His last, yeah. Yeah, I have mixed feelings. It was a good show overall, but if you were going there to watch his comedy, it wasn't comedy. It was like a good friend telling you their life history and how they evolved into a comedian and what they're doing now.
Yeah.
So it was a little, people walked out. It was kind of weird. Sad.
Yeah.
But,
well, this is going to be a controversial statement, but I never thought that Louis C.K. was great.
I don't either. I never thought that either. I don't care. That's the thing about comedy, and comedy's like art. There's a flavor for everybody.
Yeah.
And honestly, I'd rather have a comic super offend me than make me feel nothing. Like art. Yeah. I'd rather see someone that did a fucking fecal presentation than someone that painted, a surrealism painting of a lady by the lake. It's just, it's pretty, but it doesn't really affect me. I think great comics are upsetting.
Yeah.
Great comics make you go, what the fuck is, what the, like Michael Richards. Sorry, I'm not offending anybody, and I'm not a racist. I love that I have to always start like that. But like Michael Richards saying nigger to those men in the audience.
Yeah.
He went for the easy mark. I would have said something else. I really would have. I would have found something else to pick on him. Because that's the easy one. It's like when someone says, well, you're a fat bitch anyway, to women, or me when I used to be really overweight. And I go, but bitch, you're ugly. I can get plastic surgery and lose, or I can lose weight. You need a plastic surgeon.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd rather be fat and pretty with 46-ass titties than a stick with fake titties and a face that looks like it got hit by the broadside of a shovel.
Yeah.
This family dog would only come to you if you wrote baloney on that fake-ass pussy of yours. And they go, what? Oh, now go pick your face and throw up. Go on. Go on, you little rascal. Go on. It's true, though. You know that.
Yeah. Well, I found out that Michael Richards had actually been doing that for years, but then once the internet came, that's when he got fucked. And also the guy who he was calling the N-word to was actually giving him shit at the bar early in the evening.
Right, yeah, see?
Yeah.
Hey, and you said N-word. Holy Ghost fighting shit.
Yeah.
Well, for me, here's why. You know why? Actually, I don't like. I mean, I always say, hey, I'm not, trying it, but I'm saying the word because I don't want to hate. It's because during that time they were doing interviews with black entertainers, Spike Lee. I mean, there's Spike Lee, all these like black actors and actresses, and every one of them was like, yeah, that word's offensive. That word's offensive. The only one that didn't say that, and maybe you can guess who it is. The lady said, so how do you feel about Michael Richards using the N-word in his statement? And the actor looked at him. It's an actor now, famous black actor. And he said, man, I don't give a shit if some bitch calls me a nigger. He goes, I am a fucking nigger. If you
Who?
Samuel L. Jackson.
Of course.
And I'm like, and this is why he is my hero.
Yeah.
And they were like quick. They barely got the beep in time for how many times he said it. And it was fantastic though because he made a really good point. Words have power if you give them power.
Yeah.
You know, like you, Tommy. I think sometimes I think you're a great comic. I don't care what anybody says. I've watched your stuff. You're a little dry at times, and I think that your jokes are sometimes very smart, and that's the problem.
Oh, thank you. I'm very.
Well,
I'm very humiliated when I'm complimented, but thank you.
Yeah.
But
you're not humiliated. You're humbled.
But go ahead, finish.
But let me give you your humbleness. But really, it's just a weird, I don't know. People just, if they don't get something and don't understand it, they want to knock it. So in your case, don't ever let them give up, and they're going to mock everything. How you look, how you act. I mean, I don't know. It's like I made a joke one night about, I did a bit about female comedians. Just because your comic boyfriend is in you doesn't make you funny. That just makes you a chuckle fucker. And the backlash I got from that, you have no idea. Every female comedian in Reno was like, that bitch. And I'm like, that's cool. Let's go toe-to-toe comedy. Let's do a comedy throwdown. And they're like, huh? I'm like, well, I mean, some of you are really good and actually more talented than your comic boyfriend, but I noticed that a lot of female comedians don't start doing comedy until they have been with a comic.
Yeah.
Usually they just show up and are watching comics, and there's nothing against that. And actually, I was called out. I have my own group called Female Comedians Everywhere on Facebook. If you're a female comedian, you're listening to this. There are no men allowed. And I actually had backlash on that because it's not fair. Well, yeah, it is, because now female comedians can talk about problems we face that men will never face in the comic world, like having a agent or a club owner tell you, well, if you want your check, I need a kiss.
Yeah.
And shit like that. No, really, and that really happened.
Yeah.
And I know there was just a big thing. I won't say his name or the female comic, but there was just a big thing where a female comedian came out on Facebook to tell everybody that a male comic had actually assaulted her.
Oh, my God, yeah.
Like, assaulted her. And the interesting part was the backlash. And she said, I'm telling my story. And I thought, wow, that's really brave. But because of the new sort of turn of events, people are now starting, to come out. But in her case, it happened a couple years ago. So a lot of people are like, well, it's such a big deal. Why didn't you say something a couple years ago? Well, it's kind of hard to admit, for me anyway. You really feel like a victim when in the end, because I was almost assaulted. I had a really close friend. The thing is that for me, I'm a survivor. And I immediately told, but I was told actually by a police friend that the likelihood of anything happening was 0 to none because I was wasted. He didn't actually assault me. I fought back hard enough. And it just was a stupid thing. Well, that's happening now in the entertainment business. And I've had people actually say to me, oh, you waited all this time to say something? And I'm like, actually, I said something from day one, but I was discouraged by law enforcement. So, I would have loved to say something, but, a lot of people are. You don't think some of these actresses went and said, hey, this guy attacked me, and someone wasn't there to go, hey, you shouldn't say anything. You want your career to continue. And that's really the truth. So we do what we can do,
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you think, though, that men are going to give any of that, though? Like, harassment. Have you ever heard of that? Like male-on-male harassment?
I have, yeah. Like Merv Griffin.
Really? Oh, God.
Remember Merv Griffin? He like allegedly sexually harassed a guy.
Vaguely, maybe. I know about, like, what's his name, John Travolta.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we didn't know, though. Come on.
Yeah.
Like, knowing that pretty straight. Let's be realistic.
My mom always wanted to be his wife, and now she's like, I don't know, but I still like him.
Right?
Yeah.
I'll just be a fag hag.
Yeah.
I'll be a fag hag. That's like a horrible thing to say. Sorry, fag hags we're out there. I'm not politically correct. I never will be.
Neither will I.
Never, never, never.
Never.
Yeah, right? Well, that's the problem, too, in this world of politically correct, which I know you've seen, too.
Yeah.
But I have actually been, I don't know if you guys have been through this, I've been actually asked not to do specific jokes.
Yeah.
And I've had to look them in the eye and go, okay, and then I do the joke as the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I'm sorry, comedy, unless it's a corporate gig, but that's the thing, too, I always try to tell people, you have to know your audience. If I'm in an audience of people over 65 that are all business people, I'm not going to come out and do my fist fuck joke.
I don't think that'd go over well.
Mean, you know that. You're not going to walk out and be like, so when I was giving my boyfriend a blowjob the other day and he pulled out his mouth and bashed in my eye, isn't that like the fucking worst, ladies? You gotta know your audience. That's what young comics don't get, I think. A lot of them think I'm not gonna, it's like their integral right as a comic, but I want to always get, but you have to know your audience before you start slinging around your interpretation of what you think they're gonna like, because they're old.
Oh, I'll tell you.
But then again, I'll come out,
Uh-huh. I did this open...
Well, it's like when you...
Go ahead.
What'd you do? I'm sorry, don't mean to cut you off. No, go ahead.
I did this open mic, and there was all these, like, 20-year-olds and shit, and I'm like, oh, fuck, I hate 20-year-olds because they're so PC, and, fucking millennials, right? I am a millennial, but I'm one of the older ones, And so...
Right. Oh, I know.
I was like... Oh, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to do my my superhero material, and it fucking went over so well. I couldn't believe it.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, you can joke with them, but sometimes you say stuff about, like, movie references.
Yeah.
And they're like, you saw the original Star Wars? Shut up.
Yeah.
It's your dirty little... Or you'll make I one time, he's so adorable, I won't say his name. I one time dated a 21-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, you realize, Joel, that I'm old enough, I said his name anyway, I don't care. I said, you realize, Joel, that I'm old enough to be like your mom, and not like your teenage grandmother, but like your mom that took you to like Little League and Pee Wee football. Was at your graduation, gave you a sip of your first beer, like your mom.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when he said my favorite. Age is just a number. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's not. Yeah, it's like the number. Because I'm not really a cougar. I'm more like a saber-toothed tiger.
That's a good one.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I will leap on your back and draft you up to a tree with my giant saber teeth. Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh my God. In 30 days, I will be 35. That makes me a male cougar.
A male cougar. You're a puma.
A what?
You're a puma now. A puma.
A pluma?
Puma. Puma.
Nah, I don't know.
Another word for cougar. You're a puma now. No, in your case, you're a creep. Because you're a man.
Oh, ha.
That's true, though. That's good. Old men become creeps. Old women become creeps.
I know, it's so fucked up.
It's so fucked up. Well, and that's the thing. Someone, a good friend of mine, Charity, said to me one time, she's like, yeah, but we're like drugs. I'm with you. And she goes, because we're friendly to everybody. These women today, a lot of young women today,
yeah.
Every man that is polite to them, they assume wants to bang them.
Yeah.
Every man that's polite to me, I assume, wants to bang me, but I could probably get free drinks and some other perks prior to that.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't I smile and be friendly?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can go into a 7-Eleven, and in fact, this happened to me and Sherry. We went to a little convenience store, and a very cute little Mexican guy was like, "Hey, ladies, you look nice tonight, baby girl." I'm like, "Oh, thank you." And we were just buying she was getting a pack of cigarettes, and I was getting just a juice because I don't really drink or smoke. And
yeah.
The guy was really, and he's like, I get your stuff for you, man. I'm like, "Oh, that's so nice," but no, but I appreciate it. I'm always polite. And when we left the store, she goes, "You know what? Oh, thank you." I go, she's one of the few women I know that if a guy hits on you like that, you never go, "Oh my God, what the fuck are you talking to me? What the fuck are you? Like, get the fuck off me." So I'm just buying my shit. I buy my own motherfucking shit. I get a fucking JOB. You know what that is? And they just like go off. I'm like, why are you being rude?
Mm-hmm.
We can still retain our female strength and be a feminist, but you don't have to be rude because the opposite sex is doing what they're designed to do, which is me. Hello.
Yeah, I'm not polite because I want to get laid. I'm polite because that's how I was raised.
Right. Well, but still, politeness is just a common courtesy on both ends. But I've seen women get so just, "Oh, he's talking to me." Shut up! I'll punch you in your pussy. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
It's too high strung. Too high strung. So how's life? How's your sex life? What's going on?
I haven't gotten laid in 3 years. You know, I fooled around a couple of times, but that's about it. Wow, you just had a primal scream. What?
Why aren't you getting laid?
Because when you recover from a car accident, you don't have game for a while.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Actually, I was hit by a drunk driver, and that's one of the first things I wanted to do because I had a broken pelvis in 2 places.
Wow.
I wanted to get laid so fast. I didn't even think I went 2.5 months. Well, I wanted to make sure everything was working.
Mm-hmm.
That I wasn't going to be like, I don't know. I mean, or that, or I'm just a slut. Maybe that's it. I'm just a slutty slut.
Yeah.
On lunaticradio.com, I'm called, they used to book their shows, and I was Jenny Blowjob.
Jenny Blowjob.
Yeah.
I love it.
True. Well, because I called in, they have a drunk dial line, and I called in one time to their drunk dial line drunk and was talking about how women don't know how you buzz up. Like, no teeth, and you should swallow. Because if they're going to go down on you, you should go down on them. And I go, and you should also groom yourself. Because just like no one likes hair in their pie, no one likes hair in their hot dog.
Yeah.
I listened to it later and was like, I am an asshole. But that's how I got on the show. Because it's funny.
Yeah.
Sucking cock. Oh, ladies. You just did it. More men would complain less.
When's the last time you got laid?
In my current relationship or during it? No. God, I don't know. A few days ago.
Awesome. How was it?
Yeah. It was all right. I don't want to talk about it. It was like a hit and run.
It's a hit and run.
Yeah, it was okay. But afterwards, like, you started thinking, that sucks.
Yeah.
It was, I don't know. I just had a bad breakup, though, with an alcoholic. Ladies don't date an alcoholic, they don't get better.
No, they never do.
Especially a narcissistic one. The only thing that's great sometimes about breaking up, especially if they leave you for someone, is when you see the other person, and it can go both ways. Like if they break up with you and you see them with the other person's like amazingly good looking, you're just like, oh fuck. Look at that step up they took. The shitty thing, and this happens to me a lot. I'm not tooting my own horn about how I look, but it really does. 90% of the men that have broken up with me for another woman, I've seen the other woman, and she's always a step or 5 down from me.
Yeah.
And you're like, what? You talking with me for that? They consider me hot? What the fuck? What am I looking at here? God damn it. It's just the worst.
Yeah.
It really is the worst. Yeah, it's the worst.
I can imagine.
You at least want them to be like, you're like, is that a wheelchair? What? The hell? Does she have Bell's palsy on the side of her face? What the fuck?
I used to do a bit about dating a girl in a wheelchair.
Did you date a girl in a wheelchair?
No, I hooked up with one once, like years ago, but I joked about it in my stand-up. I said I wanted to take a walk on the Ironside.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, to walk on the Ironside and roll along next to you. You know, here, honey. The nice part is, though, she has an electric one. You could just get on a skateboard and hold a rope and just let her pull you. Fuck, they do it for dogs. Why can't they fucking do it for people?
Yeah.
I mean, really. Oh,
Yeah.
Think about it. If you needed to get to a gig in Stack, you could just hook yourself up to her electric chair and she could just drive you there.
Yeah.
Now you'll hear backlash. Triple jokes. Triple jokes. What the shit? Well, how about this one? I'll give you one better. I really want to date a midget. Badly. Because they're like the perfect height. Mm-hmm. You know what? Oh, fuck it, I can say it. Eating pussy, they're perfect pussy height.
Yeah, they don't have to get down on their knees.
You
they
have
can
to
just
lay down.
bob up and down.
Nothing. You just put your leg up on a chair or something. You're good. Or on a counter. Or I level to the counter. No work. No fuss, no muss.
Well, I gotta tell you, there's no single bars for midgets, but my best advice is go to a local production of The Wizard of Oz.
I know, right? I mean, all right, who's represent the Lollipop kids? Come on. Who's represent? Anybody? No? The Lollipop kids are all we represent. So that would be you, sir.
Yeah.
I actually, though, got to interview, I don't know if you saw it on my Facebook, Jenny PezdeSpencer. It's also on my page. And I interviewed midgets for midget wrestling.
Yeah. I didn't see that.
And they were all about hitting on me. And I was all, oh, I love it. I'm also, who wants to take me out after this show? I'm like, what? I'm not even kidding. I go, you're my life stream. Although I did date a guy for a minute that was only 5'4". Mm-hmm. And I'm 5'9".
Yeah.
And so I wore heels.
Yeah.
It was nice. He was tiny. But he made it for it in other areas. Which is another weird oddity about short guys.
Yeah.
They're huge. I don't know why. It's like God said, hey, you're not this tall. But I have this. It's like a toddler's arm holding an apple.
Oh, my God.
My gift.
Oh, God, that's a funny analogy.
It's the fact.
Yeah.
It's a scary thing when you see, and that's the thing, fellas. Size does not matter to us. Technique matters more than size.
Yeah.
Way more than size. Technique matters. And there's other ways to get a woman off besides size. So please, there's nothing worth. I drive roomless and I carry condoms in my car. I've actually I do. I carry bottles of water, pretzels, gum, mints, and condoms. Because I seen Sarah and the backseat of my car one time, and they were sorority sisters.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh my God, you have everything. You have water. Oh my God, you have pretzels. Oh my God, you're so amazing. Oh my God, you're so amazing. But you know what would be really rad if you had rubber, so I wouldn't get knocked up by a random.
Mm-hmm.
And I went, or an incurable STD. Oh my God, you're right. Like the one that's a rash.
Yeah.
Herpes? Yeah, not a rash. That's an incurable STD with pustule blisters on your junk. Ew, really? Yeah. Oh my God, I had no idea. And I'm all, yeah, it's like the venereal wart. Nobody really has that anymore. I'm all HPV. Oh, that's not what those are.
Yeah.
You're in college? We're fucked. We're so fat. Oh, we're fucked. When I say it to young men that get in the car, they're like, I just roll over and I don't try to, go, hey, I got rubbers. Because that's the way to get what I get a lot. Which, so you're really pretty for a driver. You want to do something later? No. But I go, this is how you distinguish men from boys. Men go, oh, you have condoms? That's awesome. Boys go, oh, you have condoms? So as long as they're magnums, babe.
May is
yeah.
May is International Masturbation Month.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
I've been doing my job then. Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Women masturbate.
Yep.
Contrary to their popular belief that they do not. They do.
It's just very few admit to doing it.
Oh, they don't want to admit to it.
Yeah.
They want to pretend that they don't do that. And I don't know why that is. I think you should just admit it. I mean, it's just sticking your hand in your junk, which, if you've ever been with anyone, at one point your hand is in your own junk.
Right.
So just roll with that shit.
I agree.
We find that some weird no-go. But I know there's nothing I love more than kissing the guy after I've blown him.
Wow, I love that.
When they get mad, sometimes the right guys go, oh, you need to brush your teeth first. I'm all, okay, when you were going down on me, I didn't have a problem with you full on kissing me afterwards.
Yeah.
So we get weird. That's life. She can get, good sex is, I think good sex is probably the top 3 reasons for a relationship to break up.
Maybe, yeah.
Think about it. Really think about it. I mean, I think the first one should be not lying. Not big lies anyway. Little lies is good.
I hate lies.
If your girlfriend or wife says, did this make me look fat? Don't go, Jesus Christ, look like a whale just got beat. That's really not, well, lies keep relationships together.
Yep.
If you tell the truth all the time, you're the stupidest thing. Plus, really, you tell someone you cheated on them, if it's a one-night stand, drive-by, whatever you want to call it. I call it drive-by. That's it. Just take that shit yourself. Because the only person that really feels bad when you tell them is that person you told. Now they have to carry your guilt. So don't lie. The second one, don't steal. Don't steal from your relationship. And by that I mean your wallet. That's a big one. Take money out of their wallet without asking, or don't cheapen in, like, you need to keep the house clean, and then you don't help at all with anything.
Mm-hmm.
But the third one, I think, really is sex. If you're not compatible in bed with someone, you certainly don't want to stay with them.
No, not really.
No, who does? Well, and if you try, like me, if they're not, I will try to talk about it and be like, yo, you need to do that little half twist when you're down there doing that thing you do, something.
Yeah.
But if they're like, I've had men go, my technique is just fine. And I'm all, okay. And then I break up with them. And I've actually had people say, I can't believe you're breaking up because the sex isn't that good.
Yeah.
Well, when I talk to you about it, that's the thing too. People don't want to talk about it. That's where the number one comes in, communication and stuff. You know.
Mm-hmm.
You know exactly what I'm talking about, Tom. You need to get out there and do comedy more, though. I don't like that you're in your bedroom doing a podcast and not out there. You're funny.
I agree, but you know, what I want to do is move to LA so badly, you know, but it's just hard.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, but I don't think LA makes it different with the onset of the internet.
It doesn't work.
I really don't. I thought it used to. I don't think it does now. I think it's how much work you're willing to put into getting yourself out there.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, really. It's hard. Comedy's hard. It's the hardest job I think there is. For all of us, it's easy because we're getting to do what we do normally and not get paid, which is just talk shit to people.
Right.
But if you can, you know, I want to, you know, actually someone the other day said to me, oh, you should teach a class. I don't want to sign a failure.
Yeah.
Because that's really what I feel like teachers are. They're never comics that you see on HBO.
Nope.
They're never comics you see with a steady show on what do you call it, Comedy Central.
Yeah.
It's always some little comic that's pretty good, because there's a few here. I'm not going to knock anybody that's doing it, though. I'm really not trying to.
Yeah.
But, you know, I had a comic one time that had only been doing comedy for 3 years teaching a class.
Oh, my God.
And is it called How to Fail in 10 Days or Less, a competitive guide to failing at comedy?
Yeah. I think it's stupid.
I mean, yeah, well, the thing was, people took this class and paid the $25.
Mm-hmm.
I was all, are you guys on, is there a drug I'm missing? They're like, Jenny, I'm being serious. But then someone said, you know, you teach class. I'm all, ha ha. My class would be how to make enemies in the comic world.
Yeah.
How to not be nice in the comic world.
I lived in Arizona very briefly back in 2007, and I took a comedy class over there. That was a fucking huge mistake I made.
Right, yeah. You just... I always tell comics that ask me about it that... Sorry, just a second. What the heck just happened? I always try to tell comics that ask me about that, especially if they're new.
Yeah.
I'll tell them, just ask me. I'm alone. Here's my advice. Don't click up with other comics in the beginning, because you know what? They're not your friends. They're not your friends.
Nope.
And secondly, don't take a class. You don't need a class. You know if you're good and you know if you're bad. If it's something that made you laugh, you're fine.
Mm-hmm.
But when you start listening to outside advice, sometimes it's like the whole Nancy Kerrigan, Tonya Harding.
Yep.
She might have not been better than her, but you know what? Tonya didn't want to take the risk and beat that bitch down with a bat.
Yep.
I mean, that's really how it kind of is with comedy. You don't want to fight, and that's the thing too. You don't want your friend. I'm using air quotes as I say that. Your comic friend. Do they really want you to succeed and get jobs over them? No. So why would they fucking tell you that that's a great joke? Most times I've ever told a comic a new bit. That's why I don't do that whole bouncing this off you anymore. Because really, I've been jokes that I know nail. And I told a couple comics before I did a joke and was told, oh, it's okay. But it made me laugh, so I know it's good.
Mm-hmm.
But all new comics should just do yourself. Oh, and another thing, all new comics, don't bring your fucking friends to your open mics the first fucking 2 months.
Yeah.
Because you're going to get a false sense of I'm awesome.
Yeah, I made that mistake.
You're not.
Yeah.
Yeah, did you? Yeah. See, no. I didn't. The first time I went up, no one was there.
Mm-hmm.
No one. Second time I went up, no one was there. And, oh my God, I won. You know how they always have the and the comedian that wins gets $25 markup. I won the second week I went up.
Yeah.
And people were like, "Oh, you brought your friends?" Nope. Oh, and I'm like, yeah, that's why it makes it a better win. That's why you should always go by yourself in the beginning, all young comics, please. Because then if you do win, guess what? You are good. Because strangers like you. I'd rather have a room full of strangers clap for me or not clap for me than a room full of friends clap for me because it's not real. They're your friends. They already think you're funny or whatever. And, yeah, it's just a bad idea.
Right.
So, that's my experience, comic advice.
Well, when I started doing stand-up, I had no fucking mentors. Everyone thought that I was fucking terrible. Do you know what the worst part was? The fact that I had no reference for the business side of comedy. I had to learn that by listening to podcasts. Right. If I write a book someday, it's going to be called Podcasts Changed My Life, because it really has.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, because nobody told me what I had to do. The notion I was given was you write every day, you go up on stage and hope to get discovered. That's all. They never told you what was in the mindset of like the show producers or anything like that.
Right.
And to be honest with you, in 2006 when I started, nobody really knew anymore until like 2012 when the comedy club owners figured, okay, we're going to book people based on their fucking social media following, you know?
Right, exactly. Well, and that's the thing, too. They go to your social media following.
Yep.
And they're like, well, you only have, 1,000 friends. And I'm like, you would think I was pretty good. Well, yeah, but only 400 are following your page. Well, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. But it really is, it's true now that they do that. Or they really want to see, well, send me something to the email of you performing. Okay, you send that, and they're like, do you have anything better quality? It's like, what? And the interesting part is, when I first started, when I was doing shows, I was always asked, do you have a headshot?
Mm-hmm.
They ask if you have the internet. What's your stamp? It's crazy on that.
Yep.
So.
Do you like?
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just keep doing what you do and hope for the best. Do you like?
I do.
Do you like horror movies?
Horror movies, of course. Who doesn't?
What are your favorite horror movies?
Oh God, I don't know, between the Human Centipede and an Urban Tale. I can't. Just kidding. Those are the most horrible, god-awful movies that have ever been produced. I just saw. What is it called? I don't really watch horror as much as I used to.
Yeah.
I can't think of the name. The Bender Doc? I don't know, it's a giant crow. God damn it. I can't think of the name of the movie that's going to bother me. I like old movies, though. Old, scary. I like being tense.
Yeah.
So, you know what a great movie is, though, that everyone should see is Heat of the Night with Rod Steiger and Sidney Poitier from 1967. I just watched it last night.
Great movie, yeah.
And it's a great, great film. I mean, that's the thing, too. You'll notice, Tommy, because I'll probably talk to you more because I don't mind being on your podcast. You can always invite me on. One thing I've noticed is that I call movies and film.
Mm-hmm.
Heat of the Night was an incredible film.
It is, yeah.
It's just, it's so well done. It's so fun. It's a crazy, and you get to see those, what now you see sometimes movie producers do and say, oh, that's nostalgic. This wasn't nostalgia. This is how they actually filmed. Oh, right. We returned to the Valley of the Dolls.
Mm-hmm.
This is weird. But, yeah, it was great. It was super great. But if you want to talk my favorite comedy movie of all time,
sure.
And you're going to you might not even know what it is, but I will never. It is my favorite, and it's one of the best ever. And that is Anti-Main with Rosalind Russell.
Oh, Anti-Main. Yeah, I know that movie.
Yep, it's my favorite.
Yep.
Like, I'm not making that up. That is my favorite comedy movie of all time.
Nice.
I even own it. And I've had people go, why? But I go, because the comedic timing of Rosalind Russell in that movie, and her completely, she does what makes great comics. That is, you make people think. That's our job, to make you think.
Yeah.
And she in that movie with her backhanded comments sometimes, or her comics, they could have her comments, 2 or 3 different meanings. It's just fantastic. And not only that, there's parts of the movie that are very sad, but yet she makes them funny. Mm-hmm. And that's what comedy, I think, for me, is all about. We take this pain and turn it into something beautiful. Mm-hmm. When my grandmother passed away, I went up the next day and did comedy. I got back that morning after her funeral and her wake, and because we're Jews, and so there had to be like 5 different events for one death.
Yeah.
That's not my call. But I did comedy, and I said, a Jewish funeral is like a freaking Italian wedding. Everybody kept handing us envelopes with money. Like, it was really weird. Like, they kept coming up to my mom and being like, here, Moshe, put something for the family to help, like, get through this past time. And I'm like, how much money is in those envelopes? My mom's like, stop it. I'm just curious.
Yeah.
I want money.
Yeah, why not?
It's true. It's totally true. I was tripping out. Tommy, I was tripping out. It's a weird thing, you know? It's a weird thing.
Yeah.
Here, this is for the family. Oh, awesome.
What about science fiction?
A family.
What about science fiction movies?
Gosh, I'm a huge fan of Aliens.
Oh yeah.
Aliens.
Of course.
Alien Requiem. You know, this last one, Alien whatever, another prequel to the prequel, obviously. I don't know that I liked it as much. I think it was called Requiem. I don't think I liked it as much because it's starting to be, it's almost too much at this point. But I like science fiction. I like that weird. I'm really into fairies and magic and stuff. So those are a lot of movies I watch these days too. Or read. I currently am reading the Anita. I don't know if you've ever heard of this author. It's the Anita Blake series, Vampire Hunter, by Laurel Hamilton.
No, I never heard it.
Well, here's why I'm reading them. You'll love this. This is actually a funny thing. Have you ever had someone give you a book in a series that it can stand alone probably without the series, but then you find out that the series actually has 30 books in it, and you just read book 11?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that just happened to me. My mom gave me this book, and she brings me books after she reads them because she's an avid reader. And she brought me this book called Skin Trade by Laurel Hamilton. I started reading it, and I started realizing it seemed like there were more books, so I went to the front. There were 11 books ahead of it. Mm-hmm. I was all, are you fucking... So now I had to buy them all. And now the book, I'm actually on the book that I started with because I just want to read it again. Even though I just read it 3 weeks ago, I'm reading it again so I can keep the momentum.
Yeah.
Momentum. But it's good. I mean, and it's like an alternate world, like almost a True Blood theory, which everybody could have, you know. But it really goes deeper on shapeshifters and vampires and fairies and mermaids, like anything you could think from like a horror mystical, there's even like a god, this type of creature that turns into a giant cobra with a pearl in its forehead, and it's a true immortal shifter. It's a shapeshifter, really, but they were worshipped as God in India. So it's interesting though. It's an interesting, and she actually gets advice from people that have come up with a whole alternative history for the United States that includes all these mythological creatures.
Yeah.
Which I thought really, it's kind of cool. It's cool. That's really what I like. I mean, I like science fiction and stuff like that, and because I read like Anne McCaffrey and stuff. But for me, fairies and wizards. I'm a huge fan of Game of Thrones. Like disgustingly huge fan of Game of Thrones.
Nice.
Yeah, the only thing is, then I fall into the nerd category.
Well, I'm the biggest nerd because this show started out.
Are you? What are you watching? Lily? Let's talk about Tommy a little bit. What are you doing?
My show started out as horror and sci-fi actors, and then I just started to branch out when I ran out of guests to have. Now I just interview actors, comedians, occasionally a musician. I'm trying to get porn stars on, but that's not easy to do.
Do you want to bet?
Because I've tried messaging
Tommy,
them.
if you want some help, I can get you porn stars. I can get you Rebecca Steele, Tasha Gray, Carmela Bing. Let me think. Who else could I have on the show?
I want Nina Hartley.
Jesse Jane. I could ask Nina Hartley. It's not hard. You know what I found works for these people the most?
Mm-hmm.
A simple email saying, hey, I'd like to have you on my podcast. It's just a phone in 15 minutes of your time.
Right.
Seriously. Really friendly, though. And also let me know what subjects are off limits. That's how I got 90% of everyone I had on Lunatic Radio. Like, I had Lisa Lampanelli twice.
Love her.
The first time I wrote her, and in my subject line, I said I love big black cock.
Yeah.
It's Lisa Lampanelli, and sure enough, she, responded, and she said, talk to my agent. I talked to her agent. The agent was a little more but Lisa came on the show. She was a friend of Lunatic Radio. I had Dane Cook on there. I mean, I've had some really the key for anyone doing a podcast and getting people booked is find them. Find the actual person. Like I got Michael Ian Black. I just went to his Facebook, and actually it's odd, but famous people will talk to you. I recently wrote, because I saw him on what do you call it? Law and Order Special Victims Unit, Tom Sizemore.
Nice.
And I wrote him, and I said, Tom, God, thank you so much for being on a show. I'm really happy for you. I don't care if you're on drugs, really, because I think you're a tremendous actor. But I'm really happy to see you're doing something. I'm positive it was him.
Yeah.
Because the person wrote back, hey, and his friend count was also really low. Like actual friends. So I'm pretty sure it was his own personal site. And I said, thank you. And he wrote back, hey, thanks. I really appreciate that from a fan. He goes, it's good to be back. And that's what he said. I honestly believe that was him.
Nice.
I don't think it was just a assistant looking at the site. I think it was him. And that's the thing. If you can get to the actual person, which you can occasionally, they will talk to you. Like, I know for a fact that Jesse Holmes from Musicals of Death Metal, he does his own Instagram account.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So you can probably message him and say, hey, Jesse, would you be interested in doing a quick phone in? I run and honestly, I would go through Instagram Instagram more than Facebook now because they have direct messaging, and it's better. I think it's better.
Mm-hmm.
But they will. And if you just say, hey, I'd like to have some show, especially the foreign stars, they love that shit. Anything to come out themselves. And in fact, we had, what was her deal? I can't remember her damn name. She was the cutest little thing. And it bugs me that I can't remember. But I had a porn star. We did a podcast convention in Burbank, California. That's where the airport is for LA. Burbank, I believe.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Tommy, it's Burbank? Yeah. There's a
Burbank.
podcast convention in Burbank. And we went and did it with Lunatic Radio. And this porn star lived not that far away. And said, I called her and I said, hey, we're going to be in town. I want to know if you want to come on the show when we do the live show from the convention. And she goes, how about I just come? And I went, yeah. And sure enough, she did.
Mm-hmm.
She showed up, and I was walking her through, and she's in her little tiny, she was dressed like she was at the adult video or aviation. She walked through and was just, I had people coming up to, gosh darn, I wish I remember her name. She's a beautiful little, and she's done other things too. She was in, what's her name, and Mary Make a Porno. Zach and Mary Make a Porno.
Yeah. Tracy Lords.
Not the other one. Big titty. Has a voice like this.
Yeah, I can't remember her name, but I know who you're talking about.
It was her. It was her before she got big. She came on. If anyone knows, would you let Tommy know so we could be corrected, please? But she came and sat, and we did the whole interview Q&A on the air with her.
Right.
And she handed out little postcards and signed them and took pictures with people, and she didn't charge them either.
Yeah.
And these, I called it the nerd convention.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I mentioned, these guys were dying. I mean, they were just like, oh my God, I can't believe she's on.
Yeah.
So, how did you guys get, and I'm like, dude, it's not really that hard. And she's super nice anyway.
Yeah.
And she did. It was great. But you can do that. I mean, you can get, especially where you're living, there's probably some that live in where you live. They might even come over and do a show with you. You probably want someone else there. But,
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna message. I'm gonna message you my email, and you can give it to Nina Hartley.
I could get Nina Hartley.
Yeah.
If you give me a challenge, I can probably do it.
That would be awesome. Oh God.
Oh, Nina! Please, what's up? Let's do this.
Yeah.
Nina, let's do this. Nina Hartley. Let's get all naked and talk. She's rad. I love Nina Hartley.
Oh yeah, she's from the Bay Area.
Yeah. And she has a husband and a wife. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah, I know.
Which makes her hotter. It does. It's kind of hot to me. I'm not into chicks, but, they're good in a pinch.
Mm-hmm. Oh, hell yeah.
All right, so I guess we're going to start wrapping this up.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you real quickly, what color are your toenails painted?
Red, of course.
Awesome. I'm purple right now.
Yeah. I love it. All right, well, it was fun. Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely, hon.
Anytime you want me on, I will come on. Even if you can get it set up to have a third line, we could do it. We could double team someone. Ow! Double team. What's up? We could be like, you want a three-way Nina Hartley? What? I'll go through with Nina and you, Tommy.
Yeah, I'll send you my email address just to give to her.
All right. You can do that. All right, pal. I will talk to you very soon.
Yes.
It's been super fun. I'm going to make Sunday dinner, which will consist of some balsamic vinegar rice with coconut oil,
Mm-hmm.
some pulled chicken, Jamaican jerk, some fried plantains. I'm actually doing this raw. Some fried plantains
Yeah.
on the side, because who the fuck doesn't like plantains? If you don't like them, you've never had them, and they're delicious. And I'm going to serve it with actually some hummus and
Nice.
a little bit of yogurt. It's like a combination of Jamaican and Indian food.
Wow.
That's how I roll. That would be normal.
Well, have fun doing that, Jenny, and I thank you so much.
Anytime, Tommy. Thanks again. And if anyone wants to find me, I'm Jenny PezdeSpencer. That's PezdeSpencer. You can just Google my name. It's just easier.
Yeah.
It really is. I feel like an asshole saying that, though. Just Google your name. Like, I'm being a dick about it, but it's really the truth. Google my name. That's how you find me. All right, talk to you soon, Tommy.
All right, hun. Love you. Bye.
I love you too, baby. Kisses, kisses. All right, bye.
Kisses, kisses. Bye.
Bye.
Well, there you have it. Jenny PezdeSpencer. Ain't she a sweetheart? Thank you so much, Jenny. It was a really fun interview, and I will have you on back again soon. If you like this video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, add me as a friend on Facebook, join my Tommy Kovac comedian page, and follow me on Twitter, and all that fun stuff. Well, that's all the time we have this week on Splat from the Past. Until next time, this is Tommy Throwback Kovac saying, there's no shame in living in the past, because the present sucks. Oh, and for my fans out there, I aim to please. Later, dudes.